I will say this, and I think it'll surprise people. The fact that his bond...
Hold on. Sir.
What's
I have to stop you with the camera because I can see you. So do me a favor. Don't pull it out again.
And The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. Mm-hmm. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? Yeah, broke-ass Bette Midler.
Tyrus just pulled off what nobody else had the guts to do. He called out The View. And yes, even Whoopi Goldberg wasn't spared. It was like watching a heavyweight wrestler storm into a tea party and flip every cup off the table. Things got wild, messy, and downright hilarious. You won't believe what he said, or how Whoopi fired back. Grab your popcorn because this is pure chaos drenched in comedy. But seriously, did Tyrus just end The View with one savage line?
Just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
I'm sorry, but where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing compared to the United States.
Keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I couldn't step during this.
Tyrus, the weird thing about The View was that Dylan Mulvaney was the most feminine person there.
Yes, he was. Somebody.
Before we get into the madness, hit that like button and subscribe. You really don't want to miss this. It all started like any other morning on The View. 5 voices fighting for dominance, coffee cups shaking like they knew what was coming, and Whoopi Goldberg sitting there with that "I've seen it all" face. You could feel the chaos building before the cameras even started rolling. Then came Tyrus. Not in person, but his words crashed into that studio like a truth bomb exploding in slow motion.
But it's only in America can a black person sit on a TV show getting paid millions and millions of dollars to have the floor and can say, it can interrupt people because she interrupted her.
Yeah.
And if according to her, life was like in Iran, it was for black people, her interrupting and speaking in public would have led to a stoning.
Yeah.
Like the ignorance, you live in a country where you might feel a certain way, but here's the one thing about America that makes it different than anyone else. You have an opportunity, even as dumb as the she's.
He didn't shout, didn't roll his eyes. He just did what Tyrus always does best. Calmly dismantled the circus with the same cool attitude you'd use to order a sandwich. The man oozed pure, "I'm not impressed" energy. And that's exactly what The View couldn't handle. Because when Tyrus speaks, he doesn't chase the drama. He makes the drama chase him.
Hire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being attacked. So the problem is that you have to go after the racist people. And be the CEO goes, you know what? I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people, and this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racists on TV who could just go all day and say anything on.
And The View. Oh, they chased him like a bad idea that refuses to quit. You see, the show built its empire on interruptions, contradictions, and pretending they've just uncovered the truth of the universe. Every weekday, it's less of a talk show and more like a verbal wrestling match, WWE, but with coffee and confusion. It's wild, it's loud, and it's always the same kind of chaos.
She has an opportunity tomorrow. They won't fire her over that.
No.
She'll have an opportunity tomorrow to come on and fix it. Will she? She won't. But that's the thing about this country. Black, white, gay, straight, short, tall. Everyone's going to get hit with something. But the beauty about this country is there's always an opportunity for you to better yourself. So shame on you, Whoopi. Play the black card somewhere else because don't work here in America.
Yeah. You know the irony?
And then there's Whoopi, the reigning referee of all that madness. She's the calm in the chaos until someone says something she doesn't like. Then suddenly, that calm vanishes. And boom, we're in full-blown Category 5 judgment mode. She gives that look, you know, the one that says, "You're about to regret your opinion." It's intense, unforgettable, and pure Whoopi energy at its finest.
And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah, you know, Emily, could you imagine yourself on The View as like taking that job? Let's say they find something really ugly in your past, you get fired from Fox. That could happen, by the way. No. I never burned those photos. But I mean, could you do that?
I get very sensitive.
Tyrus saw right through the act. He called it out with that confident, heavyweight grin, like a man who already knows every move before it happens. He pointed out how The View preaches unity 1 minute, then divides everyone the next. Faster than you can say, commercial break. It was sharp, fearless, and packed with the kind of truth no one on that stage was prepared to face.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a...
The real magic was in how he delivered it. No yelling, no drama, no wild gestures, just sharp humor and truth that could cut through steel. While the View's panel acted like they were the guardians of modern wisdom, Tyrus treated their seriousness like a bad comedy skit. He leaned back, metaphorically, and said, "Really? This is what counts as conversation now?" The irony was perfect. The View wants to sound like the voice of reason, but every episode feels like a group chat that escaped its phone. When Tyrus exposed that chaos, it wasn't just funny, it was brutally real. He compared their attitude to people who love debates only when everyone agrees with them. The type, they call it discussion, until someone disagrees, then suddenly it's dangerous talk. Tyrus didn't need to yell. His calm tone said everything, and that's what made him such a threat to The View. He doesn't play their game, doesn't crave applause, and his truth is so dry it burns on contact. People joked that Tyrus caused more damage with one relaxed sentence than a whole season of shouting matches. Whoopi, of course, wasn't amused. But here's the thing. You can't guilt-trip someone who's completely immune to nonsense.
I love... Whoopi's right. I mean, it's been rough for us. I mean, you saw what just happened to me in the last segment. I'm trying to talk, and all the white people are like, "Oh, it's Tyrus. I can make a phone call." You know? And it's...
How did that make you feel?
I felt very black.
Did
Greg.
you feel black?
Yeah,
it's worth Tyrus. Malice just started snapping
By the way,
his fingers for you.
thank God black people don't do that in audiences.
Yes, yeah. No, we just talk the whole time and tell you how to do your show better.
Tyrus carried that seasoned veteran energy. He's been around too long to take TV debates seriously. It's like he's saying, "You can't cancel me. I already logged out." And that drives Whoopi up the wall. Her attitude was classic. Part authority, part exhaustion, like someone who's been repeating the same point since 1997 and still can't believe anyone disagrees. But the sting came from how respectful Tyrus stayed. No yelling, no insults, just calmly showing how ridiculous it had all become. He treated their self-importance like a balloon begging for a pin. And pop, it burst. He called out how The View spends half an hour arguing about nonsense while pretending it's world-shifting television. It's like watching philosophers at brunch, except everyone's quoting Twitter instead of Aristotle. The longer he spoke, the clearer it got. This wasn't personal. It was about calling out the echo chamber, the fake outrage, and the moral theater disguised as conversation. Of course, Whoopi took it to heart. How could she not? Because in that moment, Tyrus wasn't just criticizing The View. He was exposing its entire essence, the unspoken rule that whoever shouts the loudest must be right. But Tyrus, calm as a monk in a storm, didn't take the bait. He just smiled, metaphorically, and proved that real confidence doesn't need a co-host.
Oh, nothing really comes to mind. I was like, Ching, listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last. They call them Hitler, they call these things. America rejected them. And instead of coming back and saying, we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through your lies. So keep doing what you're doing. Game ball to Sonny.
The internet went wild. Some claimed he went too far, while others called him a hero for finally saying what everyone else was thinking. But the best part? The View didn't even realize they'd just proven his point. The very next day, the panel couldn't resist responding. Suddenly, they were the victims of unfair criticism, twisting themselves into knots, trying to defend chaos as structure. It was like watching someone argue that their cat deserves a driver's license. Hilarious and absurd. Tyrus knew exactly what he was doing. He dropped his words like breadcrumbs and let their reactions become the punchlines. While Whoopi tried to keep that air of superiority, the "we don't owe anyone an explanation" vibe, the internet wasn't buying it. Every eye roll, every contradiction, every side glance got blown up 100 times online. That's the irony of The View. They love to serve truth but can't stand being served some. Tyrus reminded everyone that real confidence doesn't beg for approval. It just exists. He revealed their idea of tolerance, where tolerance means agreeing with the panel or getting banished. He showed how they treat different opinions like they're contagious, and that's why his calm roast hit harder than any loud rant ever could.
Next, Joy's going to say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her.
You could practically hear the audience gasp as it sank in. Maybe, just maybe, the Emperor wasn't wearing any clothes. Whoopi's reaction was exactly what everyone expected. The sigh, the head tilt, that signature, "here we go again" pose. But behind that calm exterior was pure frustration. Because for once, someone had called them out and done it better than they could handle. The genius of Tyrus's roast was in the restraint. He didn't fight for attention, he just let the truth do the heavy lifting. Every calm jab landed harder than a full-blown tirade ever could. Suddenly, their confident speeches sounded shaky, their laughter a little too forced. Tyrus did the unthinkable. He made The View look small just by staying calm. With his trademark humor, he joked that the show's biggest accomplishment was making daytime TV feel like jury duty, a punishment disguised as discussion. The best part? He didn't even need to name names. Everyone already knew. That's when you know the truth cut deep, when denial isn't even possible. And from there, the internet exploded again, stitching Whoopi's famous eye rolls next to Tyrus's calm, knowing grin.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently, the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it, Gladys.
The contrast was pure gold. It was like watching a raging storm slam into an unshakable mountain. Even people who never watched The View started tuning in just to witness the chaos unfold. That's when you know a roast hit hard, when it revives the very thing it mocks, just not the way they hoped. By the week's end, it wasn't even about Tyrus anymore. It was about what he exposed, the fake outrage, the contradictions, the "we speak for everyone" attitude that somehow excludes half the crowd. He held up a mirror, and The View hated the reflection. Whoopi tried to act cool with her usual calm then chaotic rhythm, but her tone gave it away. Tyrus had struck a nerve. He reminded them that real conversations don't need cue cards or rehearsed passion. Sometimes all it takes is someone bold enough to say, "You sound ridiculous." The ultimate mic drop came when he summed up their whole vibe without breaking a sweat, calling The View exactly what it is: a round table of contradictions powered by caffeine and moral superiority. Whoopi's face said everything. She didn't need to respond, because the silence that followed hit louder than any comeback. It was one of those rare moments when someone outside the bubble shattered the illusion, and everyone inside pretended not to see the cracks.
Joy noticed Jesse was a 7.
Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system, but it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
That's what makes Tyrus's calm so powerful. It forces people to really listen and face the truth. The View tried to pretend nothing had happened, doing what they always do best, acting unbothered while the world watched the cracks show. But this time, the act didn't work. The illusion was gone. And beneath all that talk of empowerment and enlightenment was just noise. Tyrus walked through their self-made storm untouched, proving that sometimes the strongest voice is the one that refuses to shout. His roast wasn't cruel. It was clear. And deep down, Whoopi knew it. Somewhere out there, Tyrus had quietly dismantled her empire with the precision of someone who doesn't even break a sweat. That's what made it the perfect ending. No chaos, no applause, just silence that screamed victory. In the grand comedy of talk shows, the funniest line is often the one that leaves everyone speechless. And Tyrus didn't have to say much. He let the truth sit there, smirking, while the world watched the chaos he'd left behind.
It doesn't matter whether you're a comedian or just a regular old person who goes about their day. You have every right. It's your birthright as an American. If you're not happy with what's going on, you're allowed to say it. If you don't like how things are going, you're allowed to say it. It is your birthright. That's part of what makes you an American. It's part of what makes us different than everybody else. And we acknowledged all of those Republicans who recognized that it's not a right or left.
They just couldn't drop it. The View always needs the last word, even when it's the wrong one. So, right on cue, the next episode opened with that fake calm they always put on before everything unravels. With a look, mugs raised, smiles stretched too tight, everyone pretending they didn't stay up all night reading Tyrus's comments. Whoopi kicked things off with that long, dramatic pause she uses when she's about to educate someone. Except no one asked for a lecture. They tossed around vague phrases like certain commentators and some people out there, as if viewers didn't already know exactly who shook their fragile calm. That's when you know Tyrus hit a nerve, when the whole panel starts talking in code. Meanwhile, Tyrus was probably somewhere sipping his coffee, completely unaware of the storm brewing on daytime TV. The harder they tried to act unbothered, the funnier it became. The more they pretended not to care, the more obvious it was that they did. The View practically turned itself into a parody. 5 people passionately insisting they're fine while spending 10 minutes proving they're not.
Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I find it friends bizarre. With a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideologies.
Tyrus would have loved it, not because it proved him right, but because it showed his entire point play out in real time. The View just can't let things go. It thrives on conflict the way toddlers crave attention, loud, messy, and impossible to ignore. You could see Whoopi itching to fire back with one of her trademark "I've seen it all" speeches, but even she looked drained this time. Maybe she finally realized that trying to outwit a man who uses humor instead of anger is a battle you can't win. That's when it clicked for everyone watching. Tyrus didn't destroy The View by attacking it. He exposed it by staying calm. By the week's end, they tried to act like the whole thing was beneath them, but you can't unring a bell. And once the truth's been spoken, it echoes. Every time they mentioned respectful dialogue, all anyone could think of was Tyrus's quiet roast still echoing in the background. Their biggest mistake wasn't responding. It was proving his point while doing it. They became the punchline of a joke they never understood. And Tyrus? Still cool, still calm, still undefeated in the art of effortless takedowns. Because sometimes the loudest sound you can make is silence that everyone hears.